Welcome everyone to this episode of the Palmetto Guardian. I'm Sergeant Chelsea Weaver.
And I'm Specialist Anna Grace Catoe.
And today we have, I would say, a very important guest. I'm going to let her introduce herself, and then we're just going to dive right into today's topic.
Hi, Staff Sgt Dean Awards.
Okay, so awards. I know that besides promotions, I think that's kind of up there on the list of things that soldiers are interested in learning information about. So can you kind of explain what you do, how you became a part of the award section and stuff like that?
Okay, I needed a job and I applied, and then they threw me in awards, and I was like, okay. So that's how I got in awards.
Did you have any admin background?
No, I'm a non-ESU golf.
Okay.
So that's a culinary.
Gotcha.
So all the awards was new to me.
Yeah. So are there any requirements then, or is it just all on the job training? Like it's easy to train anybody on it?
Well, I had college.
Okay.
I did office business in college, so that kind of gave me like a ground foundation, but everything else was training.
Okay, awesome. So what kind of awards do you guys process? And I guess what's the actual process to get them through the system to be able to get approved and all that kind of fun stuff?
Okay, the state, since we had the tag billing, we just handle all MSMs and above.
Okay, so then what's the process look like when somebody is submitting those kind of awards?
So they submit it through the G1 PAR page, and they create a ticket, and then I receive it, and they get the DA form 638 is how they filling out. And I go over it, make sure everything's correct, make corrections if needed, do the certificate, get it signed, and then I upload it back to them and close out the ticket. All awards are due 90 days before the presentation date, and the first Tuesday of every month, all awards are due. The second Wednesday of every month is the awards board, and then once the awards board is done, then I can complete the award.
So with the deadlines and stuff like that, how does that work if somebody's trying to submit something and it's already past that deadline? Does it just go to the next
board.
Month? Okay.
So now because you didn't do it on time, you got to wait another 30 days until that next board is due.
Okay. So what are some things that potentially could cause awards to get kicked back? Because I know that that's always a big thing.
Basically, filling out the DA form 638 correct. Like on the AR 600-8-22, page 65, it tells you how to fill it out like completely. So as long as you fill it out, it'll get it going good. Like it'll be fast, because I can just be like, okay, this is correct. Board, get them general to sign it, do your certificate, bam, it's done. But corrections, I got to send it back to the S1 brigade, then they got to send it to the unit, then they got to send it back to them, then they got to send it back to me. So it's like, it's more time like that. So if they do it right, it's an easy process.
So if someone's filling out an award and they have a question about it because they want to do it right, would it be okay if they contacted you just to make sure before they send it all the way through?
Yes, that'll be fine. They can email me, sheronda.c.dean.mil@army.mil. Or they can call my office number 4299.
Okay, cool. So can you kind of explain a little bit of the difference between like the state side of it versus the unit level? Because I know that talking beforehand, we were a little confused as to like because with those awards, it takes a lot longer, but for like unit level awards, I mean, they can get them turned around pretty quickly. So what's the difference between those awards, or why is there like a separate process, I guess?
AAMs, RCOMs, and stuff like that, 0506 can sign them. So that's why they can handle it at the unit. The MSMs and above, the generals have to sign it. So, and we have the board, which the units don't have the board. So that's why it's easier for them to hurry up and get an award process.
All right. So what does the board kind of consist of? Like, what are things that they're looking at when they're reviewing these awards, and like what do they do in the board?
Basically, they do the same thing I do. They make sure everything's correct. They read it and make sure that you actually did something worth the award. Like, you're just not doing your job and getting an award. You're actually doing something above and beyond to get that award.
Okay, so you're not the determining factor of that. It has to be like a panel, I guess, like several people on the board that kind of goes through it and decides whether it's something that was enough to achieve, like to receive that award, or if it needs to be kicked back for whatever purposes.
They can recommend downgrade, but at the end of the day, it's up to the general if he wants to approve it. So they can recommend, to downgrade it. But at the end of the day, he's the final authority. So he can say, okay, this is good enough for me, and he can sign it off and say they can get it. The board is 3 E7s and above. It has to be E7s and above, 3 people. So any rank above a E7.
Okay. Is that typically like full-time staff then, or is that like an M-Day thing?
It's up to one. I give
Whoever.
it to the brigade, and the brigade pick they 3 people, and then they send it back to me.
Huh. So has it ever gotten to the tag and he went to sign and he's like, I don't think that this is something that should be this high of an award?
And he had downgraded to, usually I've seen him downgraded to ARCOM. And then I sign it, I do everything and sign it back to the brigade.
Okay.
Well, send it back to the brigade, not sign it. I don't sign it.
With you being in that office and the awards coming through you and all that kind of stuff, what are typically like the things that people are getting recognized for? Like, is it, I know you said above and beyond their job, but like more specifically, is there certain things that people are doing, or like how are they getting these awards, I guess?
Most of them is like you save the state some kind of money. You're taking your personal time out to do extra stuff that you didn't have to do. You're looking out for the soldiers, like above and beyond. It's just like stuff like that.
Okay.
Then most of them is like retirements. So I get a lot of retirements. That's a lot for us. With the MSMs, you see a lot of retirements. You will see achievements in service, but I have more retirements than everything.
I know. It seems like there's so many people retiring the past couple years. It's crazy.
They are.
So what are some things that could hold people back from getting awards? I know, like, with promotions and everything, there's always some kind of criteria that could cause you to not get to that next step. So, like, with awards, is it kind of the same process?
I have to check if they're flagged. If you're flagged, you can't get an award unless you get a waiver. So flags will hold the soldier back from getting an award.
And that's any type of flag?
Any type of flag.
Okay.
Is there anyone else that works in your office that does a different job?
Personnel services, you got Sergeant Imu, that's Sergeant Cheeks, and you got promotions, Sergeant Lucas. They do waivers, conditional releases, like they handle all the stuff like that.
Okay, so all of y'all kind of work together.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that makes sense.
Okay, so we've kind of pretty much touched everything that we can honestly talk about. I know that we're kind of running out of questions and stuff, but is there anything or any information that you would like to put out to the units or to those who would potentially be putting these awards in that could help make the process a little bit easier?
No, just read the AR 600-8-22 for any questions. It tells you everything about awards.
Yeah, give her a call or an email. We'll put her information in the show notes, so if you do have questions that you can reach out. But again, this is just for state award awards, not unit level. We'll have to have somebody come in and talk to us about that, because I know that's a whole other process that...
Yeah, the S1 and their brigade can tell you about the AAMs, the RCOMs, because I don't deal with them.
Is there any kind of progression in your section? Like, could you go to other sections, or will you pretty much always just do awards?
You can go to different steps. They got the steps and the G. Let me see, I'm new to this. I'm a G6. So you can go G7, G8, G9, G10. So it's different jobs I can switch to.
Okay.
But I'm good in awards.
You like awards?
Yeah, I like awards.
It seems like you have to be very organized and like on top of it.
You do.
Yeah.
It's attention to detail.
Is there any skills that you came, because I know you said you have a business degree, but were there any skills that you learned M-Day side that kind of translated over to your job as a tech doing awards?
Because basically I had to learn IPSA, iPerms, like all that stuff. So it's basically everything was new.
Okay.
In food service, we are a whole different world over there. I work in AFMIS, so I know all that stuff.
Right.
But the technician side, it was learning IPSA, iPerms, all the regulations, and the parse page, and all that good stuff.
All right. Well, we're glad that you came in and talked with us about this, because I know, like we were saying, there's been so many retirements lately. I'm always hearing stuff about awards, so at least we can push out some information so that people who are the ones who are submitting these, or if they're looking to submit one, that they know the process to make it as smooth as possible. And then hopefully we can get somebody in here from a brigade or unit level to talk about like the unit awards and stuff like that. But yeah, we appreciate you coming in.
No problem.
All right. Well, if you guys like this episode, make sure you give it a big thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed to our channel, make sure you hit the subscribe button, and we will catch you guys in the next episode.